Hello and good morning. We're in week 7. Hope you guys had a nice break. Let's take a look here. A couple of things we talked about was isosceles trapezoids. And what we learned was two sides are equal, these are parallel. And therefore, a few properties you need to know is the upper angles are equal. So this upper angle is the same as this one. So x is 140 degrees as well. In consecutive angles, that means in order. This one and this one add up to 180. So this one would have to be 40 degrees. And the base angles are the same as well, so that would have to be 40 degrees. And there it is. The whole thing should add up to 360 because it has four sides. Remember n minus 2 times 180? That's four sides. So that's going to be 2 times 180, which is 360. So if it has four sides, it should be 360. So 140 plus another 140 plus 40 and 40 is 80. Let's see what that adds up to. This right here is 80, so that's going to give me 60 here. And I'm going to add 1, and that's going to give me 360 degrees. And there it is. Consecutive angles are supplementary. Okay? So this angle plus this angle has to add up to 180 in this one. And actually, when I said consecutive, these two are consecutive and they don't add up to 180. So let me backtrack on that. On the isosceles triangle, these are actually called interior angles. Okay, parallel lines cut by a transversal, therefore same side interior add up to 180. Okay, so you can't do consecutive on this one. All right, on the next one here, AC is this one, and the diagonals are congruent. So these two are equal. So x plus 13 is equal to 2x minus 1. Go ahead and work that out. I would subtract x from both sides. And when I do that, I'm going to end up with, I'm going to add 1 and get 14. So it looks like x is 14. And then I'm going to put 14 right here and get 27. So the diagonal should be 27 inches. On this one right here, the mid-segment theorem, remember if it's in the middle, see how that's equal to that? That's called a mid-segment. So the mid-segment is equal to half of the sum of the two bases. So it's 50 plus 20, which is 70, and then divide by 2 and you get 35. So this mid-segment is 35 inches. Memorize that formula. Let's talk about today's work. Put away your bell work. On a new sheet of paper, we're going to talk about parallelogram 6.3. So copy down all of these properties. Let me make it just a tish bigger here, and maybe a little bit lighter as well. All right, there's 5 properties you need to know for parallelograms. Number 1 is you got 3 opposites. Okay, so a parallelogram is like a rectangle. And what it is this side is parallel to that side. This side is parallel to that side. And that makes it a parallelogram. And here it is right here. Opposite sides are parallel. It's this one. Okay? Opposite angles are congruent. So this angle here would be equal to this one. And this angle is opposite this one. Now on a rectangle, they're all 90 degrees. Opposite sides are equal. So if this one is 10, this one would be 10. If this one is 20, this one would be 20. Opposite sides. So 3 opposites. Diagonals bisect each other. So this diagonal would cut this one in half. So this piece would be equal to this piece, and that piece would be equal to that piece. If it's a rectangle, all of these would be 10, not 10 and 5. And consecutive angles are supplementary. Okay, so on this one, consecutive angles are, in fact, supplementary, not for a trapezoid. So in other words, if you have a parallelogram that looks like this, then this angle plus this angle would be 180. This angle plus this angle would be 180. Consecutive means in order. If I go from this one all the way to that one and skip that one, that's not called consecutive. Consecutive is in order. So these two add up to 180, those two add up to 180. And that's called consecutive. Draw this diagram right here, example 1. All right, let's take a look at it. So on this one right here, and it's a little washy, so let me get a little darker here, sorry. All right, so So on this one right here, it is a parallelogram right here. So you got 5 properties. O, 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 D, C. Opposite angles are congruent. Opposite sides are parallel. Opposite sides are congruent. Okay? The diagonals bisect each other and consecutive angles are supplementary. Make sure you memorize that. So, this side is opposite that one. So x is 4. This one is opposite this one, so y is 10. Real simple. Draw this one. Opposite angles are congruent. So this angle would be equal to this angle, 120. Consecutive angles add up to 180. So this one would have to be 60 because 60 plus 120 is 180. Consecutive angles are supplementary. And this one has to be 60, supplementary and opposite angles. Last one, draw this diagram. All right, these are called consecutive angles. It's a parallelogram. Now it needs to say it's a parallelogram. Usually it'll draw a diagram like that. These are consecutive angles, so they are supplementary. So x plus 5 plus the other one, 8x minus 5 is equal to 180. Supplementary is Superman, remember that. So supplementary is 180 degrees. So this gives you 9x, the 5's cancel. So you divide by 9 and get 20. So x equals 20, and then what you do is you plug it in here. So 20 plus 5 is 25. So this upper angle is 25. This one has to add up to 180, so it's got to be 155 for this one. You could plug it in as well. Here's your assignment for today. Let's talk now about NCR. Okay, so parents, if you're trying to follow me at home, we just did geometry, but now we're doing NCR. Okay, NCR is a different class. It's called Math for College Readiness. Let's take a look here. It says factor. Well, what do they have in common? They have a 2 in common. So I take out a 2 and I get 2 times 4 is 8, 2 times x is 2x. This one right here is a difference of 2 squares. Remember, it's going to be a plus and a minus. So it's going to be 5x plus y and 5x minus y. Y times y gives you y squared. Don't ask me why. This one right here is a trinomial. A negative and a negative, according to the chart, gives you a plus and a minus, subtract. So you're trying to subtract to get that 3. And what it is 2 and 5, I think it is. So you're going to put a 2 and a 5 here. Your middle term's a negative, so you want it there. Always check the outer and the inner. And this one works, and that's how you factor it. All right, today we're going into 6.1. So copy this one right here. Simplify. Simplify just means to reduce. So I think a 2 goes into both of these. So I'm going to divide by 2. And when I divide by 2, I'm going to get 6 over 8. And it looks like I could have divided by 4, but I'm going to divide by 2 again and get 3 over 4. And that's your final answer. So keep reducing there. This one right here, number 2, copy that one down. When you reduce that one, this one is just a tish dark. I'm going to make it just a little bit lighter. Okay, so this one right here, what you're going to do is reduce. So 7 goes into 21 3 times. 7 goes into 14 2 times. It has to be the same number. So your answer is going to be a 3 at the top and a 2 at the bottom. Here I have more x's at the top. I have 1 more. But here I have more y's at the bottom. And that should be your answer. And that's how you simplify. Copy down number 3. On this one right here, you're going to factor out an x. This one down here, you're going to factor out a 3. Oh, yeah. And then this cancels. Remember I said you have to be able to factor? Well, you do. All right, this one right here, let's try to factor that top one. The bottom one's easy because that's 12 times 12. It's the difference of 2 squares. So one of these should be probably this here. So it's going to be an x, 1 times 12 adds up to give me 13. And so in this case, this cancels, and my final answer is x plus 1 over x minus 12. You have to be able to reduce, and I made that real clear when we started factoring. Here's your assignment for today. Make sure you do both of these here, 1 through 8, and then I skipped all that other stuff in the middle. and 25 to 56. Have a good morning. See you in class.